Kempire is brought to you by. Do you know how important it is to rate and review a podcast? Rate and review the Kempire podcast today. 5 stars. Let us know what you love about the podcast. Rate and review the Kempire podcast on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Did you know that you can watch the Kempire channel on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter? Follow us on all of our platforms. More information on our YouTube, our Blue Sky, our Twitter, aka X, and more socials, and every way that you can support us will be available in the episode notes. You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. And welcome back, guys, to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Be sure to like the video. It's easy, it's free, and don't forget to check out Buttah. More information on Buttah is available in the description. Blog says, do y'all ship to the Netherlands? Be sure to check out Buttah is worldwide, so you can be sure to check them out. I'm sure you can get it in the Netherlands. More information, again, on Buttah will be available in the description. Guys, how would you rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills from 1 to 10? I thought it was a decent episode. I mean, for this to be their St. Lucia episode, to put St. Lucia so far at the end, I was sort of like, okay, maybe we should have started a little bit earlier, but I guess they wanted to fit in a little bit more. The reunion is set to air on April 1st, I believe, of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So that will be interesting, especially to see how it's edited and what exactly will be shared. Just wondering, because you remember we did report to you that Kyle apparently during the reunion storms off the stage at least twice because she's being confronted by the group in regards to her relationship with Mauricio and what did she know and what did she share, what she did not share, all of that stuff, okay? I did end up watching the after show as well, so I'll be sprinkling in certain things that I saw in the after show to bring a little bit of context to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, okay? All right, I'm seeing 7s, 8s, 7.5s. I see a 6. It was okay for me. I probably would be somewhere between a 6 and a 7. But maybe by the end of this, I will feel differently. I don't think so, though. It felt like a filler episode until we get to the end where we're in St. Lucia. But even that, we only got maybe like 10 minutes of St. Lucia. Okay, fine. All right, where do we begin? So the very first scene that we get is with Boz, Erika, and Dorit at Erika's house. This is the first time that they're getting to see Erika's revamp of her home and things like, on April Fool's Day, we're going to get that reunion. I'm seeing a lot of 7s, 7, 8s, 5s. Chocolate Soul says 5. Vanna says 6.5. Yeah, it was sort of like between a 6 and a 7 for me. If I want to be generous, I'll give them a 7. If I want to be real, I'll give them a 6. So let's give them a 6. It was okay. All right. TJ's watching from Botswana. What's going on, Botswana? Winter says, I just want to see St. Lucia, not the girls. I do want to see St. Lucia, but I want to see these girls have a good time. Here's the thing. This is how I feel about reality television. Maybe you don't feel this way, and maybe a lot of people don't feel this way in the majority. I don't need them to have drama during this trip in order for it to be an entertaining episode. They could go to St. Lucia and just have a good old time without the drama, and I would be okay. I'll be honest with you, as long as it felt authentic and they were having a good time. But if it's going to feel like, oh, we have to have drama because it's a reality show and we're, on a girls' trip. No, how about we just have a girls' trip and have a good time? It's possible. We can talk about some of the hard conversations because we know this is reality television, but we don't need to force it. You know what I mean? But okay, we know that there will be drama because this is Real Housewives, and we already saw the preview for next week's episode. I have some thoughts on Sutton because Sutton's giving very Virgo vibes, and I do feel like Sutton's dragging this a little bit. Like, why all of a sudden now are you feeling bad for the wallet comments, even though you said in your confessional you don't regret it? There was something about Sutton's energy in this episode. I was sort of like, Sutton, and you could tell even Garcelle was sort of clocking Sutton for her hypocrisy. And I was like, all right. I don't want this to break up a friendship, but here's the thing. If you're really friends, you're able to have these conversations with people. Real friends are able to call their friends out when they think that they're wrong. If you can't call out your friends when you think that they're wrong and it's only going to cause an issue, then that's not really your friend. I don't know what that is. It could be a friend, but that's not your best friend. That's not, But that's me. Some people are okay having friendships where the person is just blowing smoke up there, you know what. Right, Boz? Right, Dorit? Dorothy says, Virgo's catching a stray that early. Was it a stray or was it a direct hit? So I got it. Despite, mind you, okay, I'm not going to tell you the full story. Virgo that I know a lot of Virgos though. I have so many Virgos around me, both in the community and also in my real life. Why did this one Virgo just like, oh, I've seen a couple of you. You seem like you got a little chubby. If you don't get off my phone right now, I was like, first of all, you have not even seen me. What do you mean I'm getting chubby? Am I getting chubby? I lost about 5 pounds. Okay. Okay. So shut up. Damn Virgos. I can't. Oh, all right. So back to this. Focus, people. Focus. Now I feel like I'm gonna hit the gym after this. Damn it. See what y'all do. I'm kidding. Please understand. Nothing that anyone says or does about or say about me is ever going to force me to move anywhere. Again, the stubbornness of a Taurus. Nothing you say or do is going to make me move unless I want to move myself. Okay? All right. So Boz, Erika, and Dorit go to Erika's house. Boz had invited the women at Sutton's fashion show. Let's go to St. Lucia. I'm like, okay. All right. So she invited all the women. So when she goes to Erika's house, she brings these Telfar bags with bathing suits and things like that. And she's like, she wants to host a trip without any drama. Fine. And then she shades Sutton's fashion show. She's like, and a real fashion show. Thank you, Turtle. Turtle says, it looks like you put on muscle. Maybe from Pilates. It's cute. Thank you. But I actually lost weight. That's the funny part. Okay, back. Focus, people. Enough about me. Oh, okay. So that she says, I didn't even mean to it. Yeah, because you're around these other mean girls that don't like Sutton, so you're falling in line and being a mean girl towards Sutton. Here's the thing. The shade towards Sutton's fashion show, okay, maybe you didn't like the fashion, but that was a real fashion show. Okay? I'm sure you've been to plenty of fashion shows, and if not, that was a real fashion show. I didn't understand the unnecessary shade, and this is why when people look at you, Boz, they're sort of like, you came in with your own agenda. Clearly, you came in with your own agenda to market yourself and to tap into a new audience so that you can promote your workshop. I think it's brilliant. This is why you've gotten as far as you've gotten. However, you also came in already deciding I'm going to be on Dorit's side. And probably, look, and good for Dorit, because Dorit was going to have a season where the majority of the cast would be against her. So she needed some support. Good for you. But the unnecessary shade at Sutton is like, that was unnecessary, but I guess because you felt empowered around these other women that don't like Sutton, you're like, oh yeah, let's a real fashion show. That's not women supporting women. That's not a sisterhood, because you're talking about how Sutton doesn't do the sisterhood. That's not very sisterly. But okay, fine. Buckle up, Boz. I got some stuff for you today. Good stuff, though. No, good stuff for the most part. But I just didn't like that. I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. All right. Let's go with the real fashion show. So then Erika, because they sit down and they're talking about Sutton's gripe with Dorit and Dorit's comments about drinking. And Erika has to make it about herself. She was like, what about what was done to me? Erika, it's like, what about what was done to me? Not you trying to make yourself a victim when your estranged husband has stolen millions of dollars from victims and you have refused to give up the fact that those earrings were bought with victim money. That is a fact. I don't care who says it. I don't care if you're an Erika stan. The fact is the diamond earrings, the $1 million diamond earrings that she's been trying to hold on to and fight for in court were bought with victims' money. That is a fact. So that makes me look at you as just as bad as Tom in a lot of ways. So if we want to go there, she's like, what about what's done to me? Both Sutton and Garcelle were talking about me, bringing up my drinking, and then they flash back and they show Garcelle talking about about Erika's drinking and the mixing of drinking and pills and things like that. Well, she was talking about it after you berated her teenage son. What happened to me? Sounded like a real Karen, Erika. What about what happened to me? What was done to me? First of all, you should be thankful. I've been telling you, I don't know if you've done it yet. You need to go send a gift basket to Garcelle and Sutton for making you relevant during that season and for holding you down so you could keep a job. Because I said this before. We saw what happened with Potomac. Everyone was like Potomac this last season, despite some of the, interesting things that happened at the end and at the reunion. No one was holding a Karen accountable. No one was really bringing it up. People tried to bring it up. If no one brought up or held Erika accountable to what was going on in the blogs and in the news, Erika would have been irrelevant. So you should be thankful that they brought it up and talked about it. But don't even come at Garcelle about the drinking and the pills, because that's exactly what you were doing. That is also a fact. You admitted that yourself. The other fact is that you berated her teenage son on camera. So don't try and mix it up. Like, what about what was done to me? What about what was done to you? What about what you did to her teenage son, the son that now does not want to be on camera? Save me that. But it's the perpetual victim when your husband was stealing from victims and you want to keep earrings that were bought with victim money. Save me. Save me on that. Damn, I thought I was going to be nice to Erika today. Oh, I just never know how passionate I'm going to be when I get up here. I'm sorry. But I'm not. It's the facts. But what about what's done with me? Perpetual Karen. No wonder you and Dorit are friends. Karens. A bunch of Karens. Exactly. Danny says, and berated for no reason. He was coming to pick up something for his mother and you're berating him. But what about what was done to me? You should be thankful that they even brought it up and made it an issue during the season. It made you relevant for the season. We could have skimmed over it and you would have had nothing. All right, let's move on. What was done to me? So then we're going back to Sutton and Garcelle. So Garcelle goes over to Sutton's house. And they were joking about how Kathy Hilton was fashion roadkill because of what happened during Sutton's fashion show. Garcelle tells Sutton about her conversation with Dorit and her asking Dorit, like, why are you so mean to Sutton? Okay. And she also brings up the fact that Dorit said if you gave her that bag, she probably would get over it. And Sutton's like, I'm sure she would. Sidebar. I have the little clips here. First of all, on Jeff Lewis Live, Dorit is being called out by Tracy Tudor for not paying people.
Wow. She likes to apparently stalk my Instagram and the people that I use.
Wow.
I've never seen this Chris Dillon.
You have seen him because he's been on Beverly Hills.
Oh,
Yeah,
he does Kathy's hair.
He used to do Dorit.
Okay.
But that's over.
Why?
Because she doesn't pay her bills.
I say it all the time. I don't.
Jeff Lewis gets such a key after coming after someone he does not like.
Like Dorit.
Get all quiet.
I don't get quiet. I don't like Dorit.
When Jeff had his party at BravoCon, I went on his page to send her the invite, and he was blocked.
Oh,
Yeah, that's where it started. And I don't understand
Yeah.
why I got blocked. And then that turned into, I don't know.
This water
Bad
is
blood.
great. This water is great. What is this water?
Oh, he's friends with
Grabby.
Dorit. Oh.
Look, I'm Switzerland.
Does she owe you money too?
Does she owe you money too? Lord have mercy. So Dorit's being called out for returning things, not paying people. Well, it didn't end there because after Tracy called her out on Jeff Lewis Live, then on social media, Tracy responded to Watch What Happens Live's tweet, says Dorit Kemsley addresses the rumors that she doesn't pay her Glam Squad bills. So Tracy says in the comment section, yeah, she's a liar. There's a credit card authorization form that she signed. Her, quote, office is an accountant that doesn't pay her bills. She owed him money for months. Then all of a sudden, today, after I spoke the truth, Chris was magically paid. Imagine that. If anything, Tracy, Chris should be thanking you for calling it out. I think there's so much that we hear on the blogs about Dorit that just never makes it to the show. Will it make it to the show next season? Please understand, Dorit. I know they're propping you up like the Captain Save-A-Ho this season. However, please understand, they're setting you up for the okie doke for next season. So that will be your downfall. All this stuff that's happening in the blogs is going to be coming up next season. And they probably will use one of the women to do it. Probably Sutton will do it. Sutton will be like, I'll happily do it. Because I've been hearing about this stuff for the longest. Okay? But anyway, so back to this. So Garcelle tells Sutton about the joke that she made with Dorit about buying her the bag. She's like, I'd be friends with her if she got me the bag. Garcelle tells Sutton that so they also discussed the whole Kyle and Dorit and how they were so friendly at the fashion show. And Sutton's just like, I just don't understand like how they go from being so against each other to now all of a sudden being the best of friends. Garcelle is speaking so much logic in this episode because she's sort of like, well, they could probably say the same about us in regards to our friendship. That's the kind of friendship that they have. But it seems like Sutton is a little jealous. Seems like she is. Garcelle says that Sutton is definitely scared of Kyle. She says that it's crazy that they can talk about Mauricio, but they can't talk about Morgan. Because that's the thing. And it's so interesting to see how Sutton is sort of twerking on the fence when it comes. Not even twerking on the fence. That's not even the same. But it's sort of like how she wants to call out other people, but is not willing, at least this season, not to call out Kyle in regards to Kyle's hypocrisy. Because Garcelle's sort of like, why are we able to talk about Mauricio and him, kissing some woman in the airport, but we couldn't last year talk about Morgan? We can't talk about Morgan this season. You brought her on the show. You propped her up. You're around. You had those weird, awkward scenes with her last season on this show. Then you did a whole music video with your lesbianic behavior. And then we're supposed to turn a blind eye and be like, now Morgan doesn't exist? It seems as if Kyle is having buyer's remorse, especially in this episode. And part of me feels for her because it does feel like Kyle has sort of done a 180 because I think she was sort of like, I'm going to be a lesbian and I think I found the love of my life and that love of my life is Morgan. And now I'm really done with Mauricio. It's been cracking for a long time, but now I'm done with him. But now that Morgan was like, I'm not going to do this, you're not sure of your sexuality. I'm not going to do this with you anymore. And probably said, I think we should just be friends. So now she's heartbroken. The lesbian broke her heart. Now her husband is out gallivanting, kissing everything that will walk near him. Don't walk near him, boys. Stop. So, I'm not mad at Mauricio. I think a lot of people aren't mad at Mauricio. I think this is all on Kyle, which I don't blame Kyle. There are a lot of people that have been in Kyle's position before. Boz, in that sit down with Kyle, says, girl, I understand. Because before my husband died, I literally said they were going to get a divorce. But he ended up getting really sick. He ended up started dating some other woman. She's at the hospital rubbing his head. Boz comes in and sees it, and she's like, oh, hell no. And she also brought up a really great point during the after show, is that she wishes more people had this perspective now, especially when you think about how short life can be. And she was just like, the doctor's telling us we have 2 weeks. I'm not going to waste time while you're being consoled by some other woman. No. If we only have 2 weeks together, it's going to be me and you. And she says, I know what that looks like and what that sounds like, but that was my truth at the time. I was like, I appreciate the truth, Boz. Because there are a lot of people that feel that way, but probably would not admit that. And then she was like, that's my husband. And we have a child together. Remember, her child was really young at the time, too. Her child was, 4 years old? So I completely understand. I know it doesn't sound politically correct to be like, oh, I'm out here doing because she said she was out there doing her own thing and dating and things like that. But when she saw him with some other woman, and now she's understanding where Kyle could be coming from, now she sees Mauricio with some other woman. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like how this feels. That's why when I say when people talk about having open relationships and things like that, that's why I said I don't think I could do that. Because it would only take one time like, I saw you with someone else, or I heard about you with someone else. That couldn't work. That couldn't work for me. Not at all. But back to Sutton and Garcelle's conversation, we see in this episode where Garcelle is sort of like, Sutton is giving a lot of passes to Kyle. And she's just like, she's making note of it, and she's talking about it in her confessionals. And she's noticing the hypocrisy. She's noticing how Sutton clearly wants to be a part of the Mean Girl group. She probably always wanted to be a part of the Fox Force flunkies. I don't know why. This is just again, another situation on Housewives. We talked about this in other cities. We were talking about this with the other Virgo, Bronwyn. Remember we were talking about this? I was like, Bronwyn, you are great on your own. Stop trying to suck up to Lisa Barlow. Okay? And you would think Sutton would know this by now after how many years of being on the show and seeing she is a fan favorite. You would think that she's perpetually probably stuck in that trying to get her mother's love, trying to get her mother's acceptance. And she's probably felt that way in high school as well. So I feel like that's what we're seeing here. And when you think about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, it is very cliquey. Jennifer Tilly talked about how cliquey this group of women are. So it probably does feel like high school. And it seems as if Sutton wants to be with the it girls and not the black girl. I'm just saying, come on. Because quiet as it's kept, the it girls is the black girls. I'm just saying. Yes. Yes. But okay. Some folks think otherwise. All right. All right, guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the latest episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Don't forget to like the video. It's easy. It's free. And don't forget to subscribe to the Kempire podcast where you can hear our live recasts. But we've also launched our Apple subscription. Shout out to our Apple subscription baddies. Shout out to those of you that have already subscribed. That is where I'm dropping my White Lotus recaps. I dropped the Traitors US season 3 finale and reunion recap. And Episode 4 of The White Lotus, I will be recapping this week as well. Matter of fact, I probably will work on that today. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe today. You do get a free 3-day trial. I believe that actually ends tomorrow in regards to the free 3-day trial. So go check it out. See, this is also where I'll be dropping more exclusive tea and things like that. Exclusive. And this is pretty inexpensive for exclusive tea. Okay. And the visual version, I still haven't decided where I'm going to put that, but shout out to our members here. I did get the video footage for our Kempire After Dark New York City show. So stay tuned for that. I will make the audio available for our Apple subscription baddies first. And then just as a taste, but then for our members here on YouTube, we will make that available for you guys. Hey, Tanya. Tanya says, Apple baddie up in here. Thank you, Tanya. More information on that is available in the live chat. Shout out to Foxy. She just dropped it for you guys as well. All right. Please understand I'm saying baddies, but it's not that ratchet. It's not RHOA ratchet. Speaking of RHOA, I see that they had a pretty good premiere. It was like over 700-something thousand. Matter of fact, it's on my other phone. They had like a little bit over 700-something thousand live viewers for the Sunday premiere. Their demo, though, they had a series low, and their demo is 18 to 49. That's the sweet spot. So to have a series low in demo, that's important to note. Yeah, you had a lot of people that were interested in the first episode because people were like, okay, there's a bunch of new housewives. Are we interested? Are we clocking in? But the demo was pretty low, which is not great for advertisers for the network. But okay. I told you I'm gonna keep watching. I'm gonna give the show a real chance, but I'm still going to have my criticisms. All right, so back to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So we have those scenes with Boz, Erika, Dorit, and then we have the scene with Sutton and Garcelle. All right. Then we have this scene with Kyle and Boz, which I appreciated. And we briefly already talked a little bit about this, but Boz goes over there and they talk about Mauricio, and Kyle gets really emotional, and How many of us, raise your hand, how many of us felt like Kyle's tears in that moment? Because she says when Bose came into the group, that's when Mauricio moved out. And then she starts crying. She's like, I just want you to get to know. I hate the way she cries. And I hate the way she wipes away tears. It's just like, ugh. It's just like, oh my gosh. Like, okay. But it felt performative to me. Like all of a sudden she's starting to cry. Glenda on TikTok says, raise hands. It felt performative to me. All of a sudden now you're crying. I need to see her chart because she's a Capricorn. She cries a lot. And Capricorns aren't criers like that. So I believe she probably has some water in her, probably a lot of water in her chart. But it did feel performative though. It didn't feel authentic. And it made me wonder how Bose felt. But Bose is also an executive. Bose has managed people. So Bose probably has had many people come into her office, tell them their story, start crying, and she still holds herself together. And then she's also able to make it relatable. So that's when she talks about what she went through with her husband and when they were having their trouble, but then they found out he was sick and he was dating some little thing over there. But she was dating someone too, she said. And she said, goodbye. That doesn't work for me. And clearly, she was the one who probably wanted this divorce and separation from him because she said the minute she told him, like, no, we're not doing that, he was happy, she says in the after show. Sidebar, the other thing she said in the after show, the doctor had given him 2 weeks, but he ended up living for maybe like 6-7 months more. So he got diagnosed in May and he died in December. And she said that the cancer was just moving all over his body. So like surgery would not help. Really, really sad when you think about what she's gone through and she's had to raise Lael on her own. So they talk about that. Kyle says that the photo changed things for her. Seeing the photo for her made her decide like we got to figure out what we're doing. And now she feels like she can move on and move forward. Because this season, I probably feel more for Kyle than I did last season because we saw why I didn't feel for Kyle last season. She was parading around with Morgan, but now her and Morgan are just friends. And it feels like now she's having some regret. Like, did I just blow up my family for what? And Mauricio, 'cause I'm sure some of you guys can relate. You break up with someone and then you think that they're going to be heartbroken and falling apart, but no, they're living their best life. They're out there kissing and hugging and maybe get married or maybe have a baby with someone else. I've never been in that situation. Usually they're mad that I've moved on and I'm living my best life. Just like, can't help it. So, but I know that other people can relate to that. And I was like, oh, damn, Kyle. Like, I felt for her in that moment, but at the same time, you made a choice. Do I think that her and Mauricio will get back together? Not really. Again, I think they've had troubles in their marriage for a long time. I think there's still a big missing piece to the story that we do not know. And do we have a right to know that? In a way, we do. Because it doesn't feel authentic. We don't feel connected to what you're going through because you only given us half of the story. And I think there's an integral part to what happened that you've left out. And in those moments, I feel like then you don't need to be on reality television. You can't be on a show. I mean, yes, you can. Because look at Phaedra. She's been on these shows and doesn't bring anything when it comes to her personal life. But in all reality, people aren't going to connect with you. People are just going to get more annoyed with you, Kyle, with the fact that we can't relate to what you're going through. But it does seem when we see that scene later with her and Mauricio, they have a good friendship. But again, they grew up together, basically. So there is a friendship, and maybe the marriage has been over for a long time. Jen says, living your best life after a breakup is the Leo moon camp. I've done the same. Oh, is that what it is? I got a Leo moon. That might be. Just out here living my life and living it like it's golden, right? All right. Not talking during the movie. You better not. Says, it was a scheme by Todd to make Mauricio jealous, but not threatened. That's why she chose a woman to gallivant around with. It's classic case of when keeping it real goes wrong. Yeah. I think Kyle thought she thought this through. And she didn't. And it fell apart. It fell apart. User 0827 says, might have a name. Has he talked about Lisa Barlow yet? Word on the street is that she might be off the show. Word on the street is that she might be holding out for contract negotiations, as she should. They made everything about her last season. We shall see how that works out for her. I feel like they make Lisa Barlow relevant on the show when she really isn't that relevant. Lisa Barlow can go, but we shall see what they decide. Okay. Glam Dev says, props to Boz for promoting Black businesses. That's awesome. That is. That's definitely. If she's a marketing executive, she knows what she's doing. Why not? Right? Shout out to Telfar getting that promotion. Right? All right. Let me do this. Okay. Can I skip the... Okay, so the conversation with Boz and Kyle was actually a good conversation. And I felt like an exchange of experiences because Kyle shared what she was feeling. Boz shared her own experience to be relevant and connected to Kyle. Remember, they're having this meeting because of what Boz said to Kathy Hilton, that she felt like Kyle's cold. So they're coming together to kind of see if they can resolve that. All right. But I felt like it was a good conversation because it felt like an equal exchange of conversation and experience, unlike what I feel like happens with Boz and Dorit, in my opinion. Okay? I mean, poor Reed. We got to call her poor Reed. Sorry. Okay. Speaking of poor Reed and PK or PJ, same thing, right? So Dorit says that she was thankful that PK leaned in for a kiss. Can we talk about PK's body language? PK seemed, I don't know for sure, because I'm not good at detecting this, but you guys let me know if you agree or what you suspected. He seemed inebriated. Again, it could be, he could be California sober, where he's not drinking anymore and he's high on life. But PK seemed a little something. Anyone else? Like the eyes? There was something. Thank you, TJ. Yes, Porrito. I like Porrito more than Porrit. No, both. I like both. I like both. I wish I could skip this scene, but I'm just going to briefly summarize Porrito and PK's thing. You notice at the end of their conversation, he was like, can we go home now? They were going home together. Watch. I don't believe this situation. However, Dorit, I still think you should go talk to those lawyers. Because although you guys may have come up with this scheme as your storyline, I do think the inevitable is there. So I think you should still go talk to those lawyers so that he can't, get one of them. And I also don't think that Dorit is as naive as she's trying to play this season in regards to her relationship with PJ. Okay? I don't think so. Kay says, was he skiing this? There was something. Go back and watch the scene. I was looking and I was like, and this is coming from someone that really can't tell when someone's high or drinking. I'm just like, something seems off. But again, it could be California sober. He could be just, in order to balance out him being sober, there are a lot of people that do that where they're doing the, the edibles and things like that. So I was looking, I was like, okay. Okay. Pageant Mommy says Kempire, they have reconciled. Did she say that on Watch What Happens Live last night? I didn't watch it because I don't really like to read like that. But I did see clips with our friends, Gabby and Dylan from, they were the best part of last night. I did see those clips. Talking during the movie says, PK is so scummy. I just know he's just a degenerate. Look. So they have a conversation about where this is going, what is going on with their relationship. Did you guys notice that PK joked about ordering a drink? I think he's still drinking. Again, I think this might be a storyline. Because remember, their first meeting that we saw, she was still ordering a drink. And I was like, that's a little insensitive. He's someone that's struggling with alcoholism, but she's still going to order a drink. She's like, but you're okay. I was like, okay. But again, is this just a storyline? Asking. So they talk about the long email that he sent in regards to the finances. And he said there was more to that email than just the finances. And he was talking about other things in that email. And he says that what they need to work on is being friends again. He explains that in the reason why he brought up that email was so that they can retain lawyers and that they can have an expert involved. But we're not going to get a divorce? Because she's like, do you want? She's like, did you at any point? That was her question. Did you at any point want a divorce? And he says that Dorit brings out the worst in him, and he wants that friendship again. His focus right now is finding that friendship again. They're playing games with us because if you really want a separation or a divorce, this is not that conversation was so like a bunch of just like nonsense, and it reminded me of the first scene of them this season. I was just like, y'all are not getting a divorce. This is a scheme that you both have come up with so she can keep her job. Maybe because y'all need a little bit of that actual cash. Because I know people want to like, oh, PK has money. PK owes a lot of money. So he's like, they need to focus on working on being friends again. And she's like, you're my best effing friend. Okay. Not feeling like that. Have you not called her? We're talking 5 times a day to not talking at all. But you have 2 kids together, 2 young kids together. I'm not falling for it at all. Exactly. T says that they're acting out what they think we want to see. And it's to me, again, Dorito is Porrito is both works actually. She's not interesting. The scenes with her are so like the most interesting scene she's had this season was with Garcelle. That's why I said I feel like they would have like a good frenemy-ship on the show. So that conversation was sort of like a non-starter for me. I watched it and I was like, oh God, I have to watch this again. But I watched it again to try and make out what was happening here. But if I'm going to sit here and pretend like this is real, so if this is real, based off of that conversation, Dorit, I hope you already secured your own attorney, secured your own bank accounts, figuring out what you're going to do next. Because just based off this conversation, if I'm to take it at face value, it feels like he's playing games. It feels like he's saying a bunch of nothing. It feels like mind you, when he was talking about you're living in the house and I'm living in an apartment, it sounded as if he was jealous that she was living in the house that's in pre-foreclosure and he's living in an apartment. It sounded like he was jealous. But all right. So are they getting a divorce? No. Did we think that they were getting a divorce? Look, in the after show, Dorit says that she doesn't know what she wants in regards to this situation with PK. She also, with some prompting from Bo, she was like, do you know what you don't want? And she's like, yes. And she doesn't want to get a divorce. So Bose brings up some really great advice for Dorit during the after show, just sort of like, you don't want to get a divorce, but you also don't want to be in a marriage like this. And you still haven't navigated who he is now that he's getting sober. Someone said that's the bank's house. Oh my gosh. But that was such a non-scene for me. I was like, all right, I have to talk about it because we're talking about the recap. Shout out to those of you that are part of the replay crew. As always, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Shout out to those of you that are already here for our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Don't forget to like the video. It's easy and it's free. We will be taking a couple of callers after this. Keith, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Keith says, that conversation between Dorit and Bro K was way too long. I went to the restroom, took my dog for a walk, picked up food, and it was still going on when I came back. Can you imagine the unedited version? Because we know how Porrito is long-winded. But okay. Yeah. It was, but again, if I took that conversation at face value, it felt like PK was talking a bunch of nothing and not owning anything. Aisha says, what happened to Porrito's accent? It's fleeting. You know how her accent is. It's always coming and going. Like that money. Pageant Mommy says, why are Kyle and Erika filming the after show separately? Remember that Erika was here in New York for Chicago. And they were filming a lot of these recently, the after show. So that there is no, at least not to my knowledge, I haven't heard anything at the reunion any beef between them. But I think that's the reason. And I think maybe when Erika came back is when she started filming some of these additional after shows. That's why the last couple of weeks you didn't see any Erika after show commentary. Okay. All right. What else do I want to say in regard? Okay. Oof. What did you guys think of Boz and Keely's dinner with her daughter, Lael? Look. I don't know, Boz. Like, this situation with you and Keely is feeling... Did anyone get a little bit of rehearsed vibes from part of this conversation? But okay. So Lael hasn't been around Keely one-on-one. They've only been around each other in groups. Boz says that things are moving at light speed with Keely. So, and Lael's in the caboose, and she wants Lael to kind of get caught up. Okay. Why are we rushing that process? We shouldn't have to rush the process of your daughter getting to know this new man in your life. That feels forced. That feels like, why would you even want your daughter to have to rush that process? Let it happen naturally. But it feels like because, she's talking about babies. Mind you, at this particular point, Keely still has not said, I love you. Yes, we find out in the after show he has since said it. But right now, in this time that we're filming, Keely has not said, I love you. And we're meeting the kid. We're meeting with fertility specialists. We're talking about children. I will give it to Lael, though. She was asking all the questions. And of course, Boz was very happy about that. She's asking questions that I've been wanting to know. Why haven't you asked those questions? Why haven't you asked those questions and you're meeting with a fertility doctor with this man? You're getting a sonogram with this man, and there are basic questions. Like, if we do decide to live together, do we do it? Are we going to move here or in San Diego? What does that look like? Why is your young daughter the one asking these questions when you are a well-versed woman? You've had all kinds of probably different kinds of conversations in your life. And I get it when it's your personal conversations and a personal relationship is a little bit different. But you are more than willing to have the conversation about babies, but you have not said I love you to each other. You don't even have an idea about where you would live. So Keely asked Lael what she thought of him when she met him in Ghana. I was like, well, don't bring up the Ghana trip. I don't want to have to talk about the Ghana trip again. Because that Ghana trip, mind you, this is the beginning of the relationship, still hasn't said I love you. He just happened to be in Ghana. And she, again, rushed the situation. She's like, so this guy that I'm dating, it's here in Ghana, and I want you to meet him, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Melly says I left the room. Melly, I wish I could leave the room. I was like, don't bring up Ghana. I don't want to talk about Ghana again. We've talked about this at length. There's something, maybe there's more context that needs to be said in regards to the Ghana trip. But now I don't think there needs to be any more context, because literally we're seeing that there has never been a one-on-one with Lael and Boz. Every time she's met him, it's apparently been in groups. So there's never been just the three of them sitting down and having dinner. Really? But you're meeting with a fertility doctor with this man? And you don't know if he is good with your daughter? All right. It's not making sense to me. And I know we're watching a reality show, but I'm like, it's still just not coming together for me. All right. So he asked Lael what she thought of him. She's like, oh, you were nice, blah, blah, blah. And then she starts asking her questions. Like, will they move in with each other before marriage? Like, good questions. Like, Boz, you did a good job with her. Keely says that he has lived with other. This is where I was like, not TJ. Ooh. And I'm not saying that about Keely, but it's giving forced. It's giving hired hand. Okay. Keely says, I've lived with other women before, but with this particular situation, I would want to wait until an engagement before moving in with each other. But you haven't said I love you. You haven't said I love you. You haven't, but you're meeting with a fertility doctor and talking about 1 to 2, 3 babies. Okay. Fine. Okay. Oh, righty. So Keely says that it would be easier for him to move there. Why is it easier for you to move to Los Angeles? Because she has the kid? He just says it would be easier for him to move and that he would still keep his home in San Diego. Why is it easier for you to move? I mean, that's great but she's retired. Wouldn't it be easier for, well, no, she has her daughter. Her daughter has her life in school and things like that. But I need more explanation. Why would it be easier for you to move? Because you're unemployed? And I'm just, that's what people are saying. I don't think he is, but that's what people have been saying because we don't know what he does for work. Is that why it's easier for you to move? But maybe he works from home. Like, it would be easy. Like, if I had a boo that had like a job and a billionaire has a job and he has to be somewhere, I could move easily because my job is remote. I could take this show on the road. I have. So maybe that's what he means. I mean, again, I have my house here in New York. I can still keep my house and move with my billionaire wherever he shall be. Okay. All right. Then Leal asked Keely if he would want multiple kids or just one. And he has all the right answers. Okay. He has all the right answers. He says, well, that will really depend on Bo's health because Bo's is not pushing out 3 babies. I mean, she probably could, but she's already had 2 very risky pregnancies. She's a woman of a particular age. Let's just focus on the one, okay? But all right. The girl's close to sound the alarm, Kempire. I don't know what's going on. You're right. Come on, Aaliyah. She says, better speak on that billionaire, boo. Just saying. You know what, Mama Ellie? Get out of here. You're my mod. Come on. Oh, my God. Lord have mercy. So I wasn't sure about this dinner, but because there's something about this whole Keely situation that is giving lackluster, it's giving forced. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if we need to call him Tommy versus Keely. Okay. Pageant Mommy says yes because Bose gave him speaking points. That's what it feels like. And it wouldn't surprise me. This is why I said to you when we found out that Bose was coming on the show and I'm like, oh, she's a marketing executive. And I said, oh. Because marketing executive, she's in marketing. She's been doing this for years. So she's very cognizant on how she's going to be depicted. Again, which also leads me to why she's friends with Porrito. She's like, Porrito, she's looking at the entire situation. And I'm telling you, she probably sat down and was like, and probably had poster boards, probably with her team, was like, okay, so this is the situation. These are the women that I'm going to be filming with. This is the dynamic that's happening right now. Porrito is in a bad spot. Everyone seems to be against her. It would be very easy for me to join the popular group, but I'm an Aquarius and I like the underdog. I also like a project because that's my history. I come in, F some ish up, and then I leave. I also think in her mind, again, being on the show is going to help bring in her base. Her marketing base are women of a particular age, the Bravo universe. So to me, it's smart. It's a genius. I'm like, go ahead, Bose. I can't be mad at it. Now, more and more people are going to be like, first of all, now she's getting into interviews and platforms in a space that she wasn't before. Like on Entertainment Tonight and Access Hollywood, all these places. And she's talking about, oh, we have the I forgot the name of her workshop. Now she has that audience. So she knows what she's doing. Can't be mad at it. Can't be mad at the hustle. Okay. But there is also a level of inauthenticity in regards to that. Because will the real Bozoma St. John stand up? Damn it, Tish. Oh, damn. Tish says, Kempire, Keely has an IMDb page. I think it's TJ all over again. Look, let me see something. What's Keely's last name? What's his last name, y'all? Do we know Keely's last name? Because now I'm looking. Look, no, but guys, don't forget to like the video. It's easy. It's free. Oh, Lord, I found it. I think I found it. Oh, Lord, I found it. Keely Watson. Here's the thing, though. Calm down. There isn't a lot here. Oh, wait, no, there is. Oh, Oh, damn. He was in. Damn. I thought there wasn't a lot. He's got 15 actor credits. And look. He's known for Red Herring in 2002, Night Stalker in 2005, and Crack in 2000. Not Crack. Oh. Okay. He was in Nip Tuck, Eli Stone, Do the LA Thing, Vamps, The Fourth Estate. It's Good to Be Mixed. What was that? Courage he was in. It says he was born in Pasadena, California. Alternative name, Keely. Oh, wait a minute. Did you know? Hold on. Hold on. If this is true, I'm just going to say alleged. Okay. Trivia. Substitute teacher until... Did you know that he was a substitute teacher until he could support himself as an actor? Huh. He's named after... Look... T says that he's in medical device sales now. Is that lucrative? Oh, wait. He's a substitute teacher until he could support himself as an actor. He has a bachelor's degree in business marketing. Not another marketing. Christmas Day, 1998, made the decision to pursue his dream of acting on his drive back to Los Angeles after an overnight stay with friends in Palm Springs. What? Oh. Always desired to be on the big screen since the age of 3. Is this really... Wait a minute. Let me just not make sure that we're not talking about somebody else. No, this is... Yes, it's Keely Watson. Yes, he's always had a dream of being an actor. Where do they find these men? I mean, in all fairness, he hasn't acted in probably like about a little bit, almost 20 years. Okay? He hasn't acted in about 20 years. And if anyone in California, a lot of people were once actors and now they're in other businesses. So, yes, this is him. And look, in all fairness, no, there's no fairness here. He's an actor, or he was an actor. Exactly, Keith. Exactly. We're fair over here. To be fair, who in LA doesn't want to be an actor and hasn't done some acting or extra work? If anything, he's got a more impressive resume than TJ. I'm kidding, TJ. Calm down. Did TJ ever come out with anything? Nope. Nope. All right, Keely. Keely said he was a substitute teacher until he can support himself as an actor. And I guess he gave up on it. But it's important for us to note for future reference. Dana says, I knew he was a rent-a-boot. I don't know. Deborah says, Kempire, his acting at the dinner table was atrocious. He needs more work. Well, that's probably part of the reason why he decided not to continue. Someone says, wait, Jen, what you mean? You mean the Keely Watson? Yeah? Do you know him? Look, do you know him? Okay, so yes, he's acted before, but he hasn't acted in almost 20 years. Durga says, 20 years? That means he's in the budget for Bose. Someone says, Ariana says, once an actor, always an actor. Exactly, Jasmine. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's a TJ situation, but Jasmine says, let's just store that information. Check. We're just going to store that information for now. I'm surprised we didn't know this beforehand, but shout out to Tish for bringing the receipts, okay? He's done quite a few movies, though. But he hasn't acted since, 2007? Okay. All right, let's move on. Damn, we digress so much. It's okay, though. Guys, don't forget to like the video. It's easy and it's free. I am going to drop the call-in link before I forget for our channel members. Let me just do that now before I move on to the next scene. Okay, so channel members, we dropped the call link for you guys. And thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Pageant Mommy, for the super chat. We appreciate the support. Guys, you can also support just by liking the video, or you can support by becoming a member here on YouTube or joining our Apple subscription membership as well, or anything that we have going on, including our new partnership with our friends over at Buttah. All right, more information on that is available in the description. All right. So back to this. So they had that dinner. One of the last things that Bo says in this situation, hold on, let me just do this, y'all. One of the last things that Bo says in situations is that she hasn't brought a lot of men around Lael. And she says because they didn't measure up. So Keely, for her, measures up. Okay, fine. Did anyone get back to me? Medical device sales, does that do well? I mean, he has a home in San Diego, and it's expensive. So he's in San Diego. Oh, no, it's not San Francisco. What? All right. Kyle and Mauricio. So they end up having a conversation. Mauricio is awkward. He doesn't want to bring up the photo, but he eventually does bring up the photo. And I do like the scenes with... This is the difference. When we see a scene with Dorit and PK, everything feels so forced and false. And I know we say Kyle is forced, but Mauricio can't help but be himself because he's always high. Oh, so maybe that's who... Oh, because he's been hanging out with PK. So maybe that's why PK had the glassy eyes. He's been hanging out with Mauricio, so they've been puffing and passing. Not puffing and passing. Put it on a t-shirt. So, okay, now it makes more sense. So maybe is California sober. Okay. Rachel on TikTok says San Diego's expensive as hell. I'm sure. So it all connected for me. So Mauricio feels awkward in the moment, but does initiate the conversation about the photos and says that he apologizes to Kyle and says that, that was never his intention to hurt her. And she's been defending him. She's like, I know Mauricio didn't do that. And I said to you guys before, I know people are saying that maybe Mauricio did it, maybe the woman did it. But I also told you in 2025, paparazzi, even if this is not a hot spot for paparazzi, it is a hot spot for tourists and Bravo fans and whatnot. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone saw him and they were like, wait a minute, we're all paparazzi. Well, no, let me say, we all, because I'm not taking pictures of random celebrities. And I've seen people before out in these streets and I've never taken a photo of them without their knowledge. So that's not how I roll, Andy. But I know a lot of people are, though. Sidebar, I was walking down the street here in New York City, and I was kind of like, there was an older woman, and she had her iPad out, and I thought she was just taking a picture of whatever was over behind me. But then I'm looking out of the peripheral, and I'm seeing the iPad kind of go as I'm walking. And I was like, is that woman recording me? Is that lady recording me? But I just kept on walking because I was in my phone and I was trying to figure something out. And I was like, is that woman recording me? But this is the time that we live in, is that you could be recorded at any given moment. Exactly. And that's what says everyone's paparazzi at this particular point. Anyway, okay. Moving on. So they have that conversation. Kyle defends Mauricio. She doesn't believe he had anything to do with it. But now she's sort of feeling like, where do we go from? She gets emotional again. She starts crying. But where do we go from here? Because originally Kyle thought, okay, we can be separated. But I think in her head, we're going to separate, but then eventually we would get back together. But now she's seeing that he's moving on, living his best life. And she's just like, I'm not living my best life. Why are you living your best life? Why are you not crying and hurt over our relationship? I think she overplayed her hand. In some ways, I do believe the Morgan stuff was something that she was experimenting with. And again, there's an element of the story that we're missing that she has not shared with us. I don't know if it involves cheating. I don't know if it involves money. I don't know. But there was something that happened between her and Mauricio that she has not shared. But she also lost her best friend. Remember, she lost her best friend. So she was going through a lot last year. And I think she's having a lot of regrets. But after you've decided to separate from someone, is it easy to come back to them after they've been out living and loving and kissing? And knowing Mauricio, what is he? Cancer, Pisces? Cancer, right? Screwing other people. Like, can you come back to him after being with a man for how many years? Well, some might say he was doing that when they were married anyway. Again, I don't normally like Kyle, but I'm actually interested in what's happening here because I think we're seeing Kyle with tomato on her face. Because I think she was deciding to do one thing and now he's living his best life and she's like, oh, what's going on? Talking Dirt, the movie says he's been smooching the whole time, but now he can do it freely. Cheat in peace. Some people, though, say they're still married. So for some people, him kissing some other woman and being caught out there with other women, even today, I saw new photos of him having dinner with 2 women and apparently, allegedly, he was kissing on one of them. Kisco says, Kempire wants to get blocked. From who? Kyle? Look, Kyle? She probably has to be blocked. Again, I don't go to these people's pages. I don't follow these people like that. All right. Unless I've met them in person. If I met them in person and we have like a good conversation and they follow me, I'm like, all right, I'll follow you back. But other than that, for the most part, no, I don't. Hey, see? Talia says they are not. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Shout out to our replay crew. Talia says they are not divorced. He shouldn't be screwing. Kyle might be smart as the break shows what Mauricio might have really been doing, but now he didn't show us. Now he's doing it, showing us that he's been outside. Right? Paula says just have an open relationship. Capricorns, y'all not down for no open relationship. Well, some might say, well, she's been in an open relationship, allegedly. Theo says getting blocked by Kyle would be a win. I would never know. I can't tell you the last time I actually went to Kyle's page. Unless there was something that she posted that was newsworthy. I can't tell you the last time I went to her page. That was how I told you guys how I found out I got blocked by Andy. It was because someone sent me something from Andy's page that they wanted me to see. And I was like, I can't see it. What is this you're sending me? That's how I found out. Because I'm not going to these people's pages like that. Andy's definitely not a page that I go to like that. All right. See? Wendy says, I'm a Capricorn and I'm not having no open relationship. Yeah. All right, let's move on. We do end up at the end of this episode going to St. Lucia. It's very brief. We get to see the room assignments. We saw one of the things I forgot to mention in the opening scene with Boz, Erika, and Dorit. She's like, I'm doing the room assignment. And she's like, of course we're together. It's the new Fox Force flunkies. So she gives the room assignments. The room assignments are fine because everyone that that's the thing about Beverly Hills. They're not fighting over rooms. We can appreciate that. Okay. Oh, sidebar. Back to Kyle and Mauricio. They flashback to Faye Resnick and how Mauricio invited her husband to go on a trip. And she's just like, why is Mauricio trying to drag my husband into his single lifestyle? I know that's right, Faye. Get them together. Okay. The morally corrupt Faye Resnick. All right. So St. Lucia, Boz gives the room assignments. Beautiful. They're greeted by the staff with drinks and music. It looks like a beautiful hotel. All right. Everyone's getting ready, unpacking. Kathy Hilton's unpacking all of her things. All right. Jennifer Tilly spilled her things. Mind you, at the airport, I said this on Twitter. I just never know what's going to trend on Twitter. Hey, Twitter. But people started responding to it because I randomly said, if anything ever goes missing of Jennifer Tilly's, please go check Erika. Okay? I'm being funny, though. I wasn't being serious. Some people were taking it serious. I did put LOL. Just because every time she sees something of Jennifer Tilly, she's like, oh my God. She's like just so enamored by the luxury. Tells you a lot about what she values in life, but we're not surprised by that. Look who she was married to. All right. So Jennifer Tilly spills her candy. At first, I thought those were pills. Did anyone else, when they were looking at all the candy that was spilled in her bag, I was like, are those pills? Are those Jennifer Tilly's pills? She's like, no, I get hungry late at night, especially after one of these, dinners with all the fights and stuff. She's like, I'll get hungry. All right. So Sutton says that she's been getting weird vibes from Dorit. Here's the thing with Sutton. This is why I said, over here, we are going to call you out when you're wrong. Why is Sutton all of a sudden surprised that there might be a weird vibe between her and Dorit? You called her a brokey. You said her wallet could not match yours. There's a weird vibe. You called her out. You exposed her. So she's like, I sense a weird vibe. Dorit's in the other room with the other mean girls and mimicking Sutton. She's like, uh-oh, I've been a bad girl. There goes a new accent for Dorit. But I kind of agree with Dorit. Sutton's acting a little bit more timid during this trip. She's acting like a victim of something. And I'm just like, you were coming all hard at the at Jennifer Tilly's party. And now all of a sudden it's like, she's like meek and mild. I'm like, what's going on, Sutton? Stop. You need to have that same energy you had at the party. Your wallet's big. Come out with your wallet. Have a good time. For me, again, the Virgo. Are we supposed to have a good time or not? We're on this vacation and you're already sort of like what is wrong? Can we have a good time? But we see next week it's going to be, why are you always picking on? Oh, here you go, perpetual victim. Stop. Have a good time. So that annoyed me. Like, her energy was weird and off from the beginning. And then she's like, oh, I feel like there's a weird vibe from Dorit. Yeah, you called her a brokey. You expect her to be like, hey. And mind you, Porrito is always a wet rag. So I never expect her to be like, yes, we're on vacation. And when she tries to act all excited, it feels so forced and fake. But Sutton sitting there like, oh. I'm like, what is wrong with you, girl? Anyway. So Sutton doesn't understand how Dorit and Kyle are able to move on the way that they are. Jennifer Tilly chimes in and talks about, I thought everyone in this group would be fun and everyone would get along. And this is Jennifer Tilly's thinking of the situation. But she's like, this group can be very cliquey. Agreed. Grown women, very cliquey. Sutton says the only person in this group that really supports her, though, is Garcelle. But Garcelle is confused why Sutton continues to stand up for Kyle when Kyle doesn't do the same for her. And we all feel that way. And I can understand, and this goes back to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City when Mary Cosby got upset with Angie K running after Brittany. Like, why are you so always want to be friends with Kyle and you're making excuses for Kyle defending Kyle? Me as your friend, I'd be like, what is wrong with you? And it seems as if, I don't think there's a crack in Garcelle and Sutton's friendship, but it seems like Garcelle's like, girl, you just said, why do you need the acceptance of these women? Why do you need the acceptance of Kyle? Which goes back to what Erika has said about Sutton wanting to be invited to Kathy's parties and things like that. Sutton says, she wants them to like her and she can't get them to. Again, does that stem from her childhood trauma and trying to get the acceptance of her mother? Maybe. Because she does look to Kyle like a sister. I don't know why. I don't know. Ace says Sutton wants to be friends with the queen of the show. I think it is. I think it's a combination of that because everyone, including Crystal Minkoff, have said when people come onto the show, they're told that Kyle, this is her show. Okay. I think the show would be fine if Kyle left, if we're going to be honest. I think it would be just fine. And Asher says, right, why is Sutton so obsessed with Kyle's acceptance? And I'm so glad. This is why I can appreciate a Garcelle, because Garcelle's going to call it out. She doesn't care if she's good friends with Sutton. She doesn't care if she defends Sutton all the time. But when she feels like Sutton is wrong, she's going to say it. Like, Sutton, why are you defending Kyle like this? Why are you wanting and needing her acceptance? And she doesn't treat you that way. And you're saying it. I'm the one, the group that always has your back. But okay. Talia says, I miss Crystal. Someone else said that on social media, that they're missing Crystal this season. I mean, I'm okay with Crystal not being there. I'm okay if Crystal was there too. But I'm okay with her not being there. It would have been interesting to see how she would navigate this group. But okay. Vanessa says, not the Virgo hate. We didn't say nothing about the Virgos, did we? All right, guys, I'm going to get to the call list. I've been talking enough. I've been talking for like almost an hour and a half. Keith, thank you so much for another super chat. Keith says, the cast don't like Garcelle defending Sutton because they want to take her down and give her a mental breakdown. They love to double team. In regards to take down Sutton, well, it seems like that's what they're going to do next week with Sutton. But Sutton, you already came onto this St. Lucia trip with a weird energy. You're talking about Burrito having weird vibe. I'm watching the scenes, and I'm like, what's wrong with Sutton? She's giving off a weird energy and a weird vibe. It's not giving fun. It's already giving like, oh gosh, what is the issue? Mind you, you just called her a brokey. You should be walking in there like with all your fabulousness and probably all the every single night you go to dinner, you should bring a different Kelly bag or a different Birkin just to show off in front of Burrito. And maybe on one of them put Burrito. And then when they go like, who's that supposed to be? Like, oh, it's just a little something, a little double. Do that. But no, you're coming in. Literally what Dorit is saying. And you're trying to pretend like you didn't just call her poor. In front of everybody, in front of the entire world. Like, really, Burrito? I mean, Sutton? Lean into it. Tyler says, bow down, peasants. Come on. It was weird energy. I didn't like that. And you could tell Garcelle didn't like it either. Just like, what is going on? All right. I think I'm done talking about it. Just started the St. Lucia trip, so we'll talk more about St. Lucia next week. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio podcast. As always, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for everything Kempire Radio, head on over to kempireradio.com.